Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Destiny Ed here. Today we are building NotteChat. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys how I was able to build NotteChat application from the folder structure down to the subscription. So NotteChat is an AI-powered app that lets you chat with PDFs and Word documents, like a virtual study buddy. Whether you're a student, you're a professional, or just love coding, this tutorial will teach you how to create a cross-platform app with Flutter that works on iOS, Android, and websites. We are going to cover setting up the Flutter project, handling database with SQLite for mobile and Hive for web, picking PDF and doc files, building a chat UI, and even adding the subscription system for premium features like viewing analytics and others. I'm also going to show you guys how I was able to integrate AdMob. So by the end, you will have a fully functional NotteChat clone walkthrough. This is perfect for intermediate Flutter developers, but I will explain each step so beginners can follow along. And if you enjoy this, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon for more Flutter tutorials like this. Are you ready? Let's dive in. All right, so first, I'm going to show you guys how I was able to set up the Flutter project. So if you are not a beginner, I believe you already know how to create a Flutter project from scratch. And if you don't, I have a video. I'm going to attach it as well in the comment section. So I will show you guys how to create a Flutter project from scratch. So before you get started, make sure you have Flutter installed. Check the Flutter website if you need help and all those stuff. You're going to be able to get it. So from here, let me walk you guys first through the dependency that I used. So if you come to my prospect.yaml file, you'll notice that I use a lot of dependency, right? So I'm going to explain the purpose of all these dependency and why I included them in this project. I know it might look a lot, but it's not really a lot. They all have a purpose. So the file picker is used to pick the PDF and doc files from system from the user's device. Then we have provider for managing states. Then we have read PDF text. Before I go further, this file picker, you'll notice that I'm not using the latest version when I created this tutorial. So I used an older version. So if you come to file picker, you see the new version is 10.1.2, right? But I use the older version because this new version, I encountered some issues when I was testing it on Android. I was not able to, if I specify, say I specify the allowed extensions, say PDF and docs, whenever I try to pick, it's also showing other files that are not PDF. It's showing like images and all that. So I think that's one problem with this recent version. So it's something that maybe by the time I upload this video, the version might have changed. Maybe they have pumped it up to a later version. So you can try that out. And if you encounter any issue, then feel free to fall back to this 8.1.4 because I think this is stable. Then the read PDF test, I'm using it to extract text from the PDF document. Then we have the SQLite, which I'm using to, cache the data and store them offline. Then we have parts used together with SQLite. Then we have int package to format the date and time. So if you come here, you will notice that we have that the date and time are properly formatted. So that's the help of this int dependency. Then I have the shared preference. So I'm using it to save the state of the dark theme and light theme and all that. Then we have Firebase core. Of course, I need Firebase. So when you're working with Firebase, you need the Firebase core dependency. Then we have the path provider. It serves the same purpose with SQLite and paths. So I'm using them together. Then we have the Flutter text to speech plugin. So I'm using this text to speech plugin for reading out text. So when you click on this icon, it's going to read out the text out for you. Then I have the Flutter PDF view. I'm actually using it to preview the PDF, though I did not really use it in this project. I think I commented that area out. Then we need the FL chart. FL chart is basically for showing the analytics, all these views and all that, these charts UI. Then we have in-app purchase. This is where the subscription comes in. So I'm using in-app purchase for my subscription. to, for users to be able to subscribe to latest like to pro version. Then we have speech to text. I'm using it here. Whenever you click on this icon for speech to text, it will be able to transcribe your speech to a text. So we can now send it to the prompt to generate, like summarize the data and all that. Then we have Google Generative AI. Of course, I'm using Gemini. So we have Google Mobile Ads. I'm using this to show ads for free users. Then we have Upgrader. When you're uploading your app for the first time, you need to put Upgrader alert in case there's a new update on Play Store, App Store. Your app needs to automatically detect it and tell users to go and download or update their app. Then I added app tracking transparency. This is used for taking the user ID for ads ID. So it's needed whenever you're using ad, you need to put this ad transparency. If not, Play Store and App Store are not going to accept your app. Then I added advanced in-app preview. This is to show the review dialog so that users can review your app. Okay. Then we have URL launcher. I'm using this to launch URL outside the app, like the terms and condition and about of the app and all that. Okay. Then we have Firebase analysis. I'm using this to track analysis of the app, like the views that users are accessing more, the activities or what is happening. So I'm using it to just track all those stuffs. Then Firebase Crashlytics. Of course, it's very important you have Firebase Crashlytics before you push your app to Play Store or App Store. It helps you to identify issues in case your app is crashing on users' device. You'll be able to track them on Firebase Crashlytics. Then the Hive Flutter is for websites. Okay. So I'm using this for websites, to store data on website because SQLite doesn't work for web. So I'm using the Hive for web. But for now, I've not launched the web platform. So I'm still working on that. But I will just walk you guys through everything, the database and all that. Then finally, I have docx.test. This is just similar to read PDF test, but this one is for extracting documents, to like extracting text from documents. But this one is for extracting text from PDF. So you can see all the dependencies that I used. Okay, these are pretty much everything. Then the Flutter launcher icons. I believe you already know what it's used for. It's used for generating icons as assets for Android and Play Store. So I also did the configuration here as well. And here I just, add assets to my application so that I'll be able to use logo and every other icon as well. So that's pretty much it in my prospect.yml file. So this project, I did not really, do a lot of things. I just kept it simple and, straight to the point. So here, let me go to my android.com, my Android directory. You go to app, you can see I added my ProGuard rules for obfuscation and all that. I added my Google services key. And here you can see that I have my if you go to source main Android manifest, you notice that I added various dependency like permissions, internet, read, external storage, billing. This is for in-app purchase. This one is to record audio, and Bluetooth is also to record audio. The reason why I added Bluetooth is because users might be on their headset and they want to record audio. So we need to also ask for Bluetooth permission and all that. Then I did something else here. I added queries here. So this is for recognizing services for speech. Okay, so that's pretty much it for Android setup. Though there are a lot of things that you encounter when you start publishing it to Android or Play Store and all that. So now for iOS, I have here my runner. I have my info.plist file. And inside here, you can see I added my own other purpose strings for iOS. So from here, you can see that I added my Microsoft usage, allow. I also added speech recognition, microphone usage, photo library usage, and all that. So that's pretty much it. So that's it for all the dependency configuration and all those stuffs. So the next thing I want to talk about now is the database setup, SQLite and Hive. So NotteChat stores chat sections and messages. So we need a database. We use SQLite for mobile and Hive for web. Since SQLite doesn't support or doesn't work on web, we are going to create database interface to keep our code clean. So first, let me just show you guys how this should work. If we try to like pick a document file, say I pick something like this and open this up, you can see now it has created a sample.pdf. This file is currently saved to the SQLite, and immediately it creates document loaded successfully, which is the initial chart. You can see the ads is just showing up here. And here we can say something like hello, or let's just say summarize this. Okay, let me hide the keyboard. So from here, let's say I do something like, let's say summarize this. Okay, summarize this. And now we have, this is a short repetitive PDF file used for tutorials, page 1 and 2. So it will just summarize what the document is about. Currently, this PDF is a sample PDF. So watch when I go back and come back in, it's still saving the state. It's still storing all those stuff for us. So that's the help of the database. So to do this, what I did was I created it. I know it's not properly structured the way I want, but inside my chart presentation, you notice if you open my data, you see my repo. So I created my DB helper interface. So here I have the init. So this is going to initialize the database for us. And this is also going to handle the Hive initialization, and also is going to handle the SQLite initialization. Then I created chat section model. So looking at this chat section model, what it does is first I have an ID of the chat message, which is this one. This is the section. Then I have a string of text, then its user, then its audio created out, like the date it was created. Then here I have section ID, which is more like the ID. Yeah? Let me start with this one. This is where I'm supposed to start from, not this one. This one is basically for the message, like the inside of it. So let's start with the chat section, because all these stuff are handled based on sections. Or if you have multiple PDF documents here, all of them are outlined. Let me use my resume. Oh, this is actually in iCloud, so it's not stored in my system. So it's going to take time to load. I need something that is stored in my laptop. Um, This one is going to take time to load, but let me just load it. So just give it time to download because it's currently on iCloud Drive. So let it just download. So looking at this now, I have my chat section. I'm going to use this as an example. All these stuffs are sections. PDF to PDF and all these stuffs, 3 sections. So we have the first section. It has the int ID of the section, the title, the date that it was created, then the PDF text and PDF paths. So this for multi-PDF support in case users uploaded multiple PDFs. Like this one now is multi-PDF chat. So we need to put all the text inside the string. Then we have the chat message. So each section has chat messages. Okay. Say like this section now, if you click, it has its own chat messages, which is this one. Then we have share ID, because I'm planning to expand this project, like making it so that users will be able to collaborate on 2 different projects. Like, okay, that's why I have this share ID. So looking at these chat messages now, it has an ID, it has a string of text, it has its user. So if it's user, it's going to display on the right side. If it's not user, it's going to display on the left side. Then it's audio. If it's audio, it's going to show an audio icon. So let me say I try to use audio here. This is for pro users, okay? This is for pro users. So I'm going to show you guys how I was able to implement this as well. So for pro users, you can also watch ad if you want to. So I'm going to come back to this section later. Then we have the date that the message was created, just like this. It's going to show there. So this one is basically for the chat message alone. And then moving on, the chat message is a list, and this is just like a normal model of all the data that I wanted to use for this stuff. So this model has already gotten the structure. Then here we have load sections. So this load section is to fetch all the sections. Then this insert section is to start a new conversation. No, it's more like to when you pick a PDF document, you can just click to start section. Okay. Yeah, when it starts a new section. Then this one is to insert message to start to send message to the AI prompt. So we have the chat message here. Then we have the section ID. So it will be based on the section ID. Then we can now add it there. Then we have delete section based on the section ID as well. Okay, so that's it for the model. The next thing now that we need to create is the DB helper for SQLite. So looking here, we have the DB helper for SQLite. I have my DB. This handle mobile database operation. So here is how it looks. I implement the DB helper interface to be able to get all those structure, load section, insert message, and delete section. So this is just all about structuring our database. First, I created a static method here, a static variable, and then get the database. You can see I called init database to initialize database. If you already have idea of SQLite, I think I already tweeted SQLite in my past videos, so I'm going to add it in the comment section or in the description section. So in this database, I have different tables. The table name is sections. The database name is NotteChat.db. Here I have ID, int, increment, and a title, created at PDF documents, PDF part, and share ID. This one is for the sections. Then for the messages itself, I have messages on a different table. So I have ID, integer, primary key, then the session ID based on these sections. The test is user is an integer. So when I'm retrieving it, to be based on true or false value. But when I'm saving it, it's going to be based on integer 0 and 1. Then it's audio 0 and 1, 1 for true, 0 for false. Then created out. Then the foreign key, which is going to be the session ID. It's going to reference sessions ID. Okay, so I'm calling this database as well. Then this on upgrade, I added the stuffs here. SQLite most times when you are publishing a new app and then for some reason you added new fields, when you run it in your app without adding on upgrade, it's going to cause error. So I needed to add on upgrade method to handle, in case there's any error. And when you upgrade your database, make sure you increase the value by 1, just like that. Okay. So moving on, I have my init. So what I'm just doing is just to initialize the database, which I've already created here. Okay, you need to initialize it first. Then next, we have our load section. So this is going to create a new variable calling the database instance. Then section map, I'm going to do db.query sections. Then list, chat sections. Initially, I created a temporal list. Then I just looped through the section map. And then the message map, I looped through it as well. Then just, formatted it accordingly. So this is more like a straightforward stuff if you know how to use SQLite. That's why I said I'm going to put the link in the description to help you understand how SQLite works. Then we have insert section and all that. This is to add into sections. We have the sections as the parameter here. I'll just convert section.toMap. So this is going to convert it to an object, map string of dynamic and all that. Then we have insert message. This is us creating a new message based on the section ID. Then here we are also deleting message. So if we're deleting a message, it's straightforward. If you just swipe like this, it's going to delete the message from messages and also delete the section table as well. That is, having that section ID. So this is pretty much it for the mobile database operation. So for web, we are going to create DB helper web using Hive. This stores data locally in the browser. So I know you might be asking, why didn't I just use Hive for the web and also the website, the mobile and also the website? Well, the thing is, I've already used SQLite, for the first version of the app. Okay, so Hive, if I said I wanted to switch now to Hive, users that already downloaded the app are going to lose their data. Okay, so I just decided to move things to just use Hive for web. So except if I want to do it like this now, if I want to move everything now to Hive, I will need to create a method that is going to sync the data from the SQLite to the Hive whenever users install or update the app. But I don't want to go through those processes now. but this is for web, just like a straightforward section box, message box, the same interface. Here I'm initializing Hive, Flutter, is box open and all those stuff. We have the load section. No, I'm not really going to be going deep into this because the main thing why we are here is to talk about the web, the mobile app, Android and iOS. But this one is section. So this is more like the whole code that I wrote in order to solve this. And now I also created a DB helper factory. So instead of me to be initializing is web in all my code, my project and all that, I created a DB helper factory. So the purpose of this DB helper factory is to select the right database based on platform. Okay. So if it's web, I'm returning this. If it's think there's an easy way that you can do this instead of using this line method. Let's say you want to make it one line. So yeah, I think this is pretty much cool. If is web, we return DB helper web, else we return DB helper. So this is for the app. Okay, so we only need to create these guys, and that's pretty much it for the database handling and everything that we needed to do. This setup ensures NotteChat works seamlessly on mobile and web. So now let's move to file picking next. So for the file picking, I'm using the file picker for PDF and docs. So NoteChat's killer feature is chatting with PDF and docs files, right? So we use the file picker plugin to let users upload documents. For simplicity, we are going to extract this as a placeholder for AI processing. So I don't upload those PDF to the AI for processing. What I do is I extract the text from the PDF, and it's those tests that I send to the AI, making things fast. Okay. So for this, what I did, I created a file picker somewhere here. I have my core, I have utils, I have pick PDF. So here is initially I did not support multiple PDFs. Okay, the platform was supporting just one PDF, so that's why I added this pick PDF. But later I updated it to support PDFs and docs. So now you can see I'm using file picker to allow multiple through file type dot custom. So this is pretty much what is happening here. We are passing the extension that the picker is going to allow, and if result is not equal to null and blah blah blah, we are going to return the PDF files as a list of file. Okay, we are going to talk about this later. So this one is to extract the text from the PDF after we have picked it. So what I'm doing here is I'm checking if PDF file is, if it ends with PDF, that means it's a PDF file. Yeah, I created an initial variable of get test to store the test. Then here I'm checking if PDF file. What I'm using the read PDF test package to read the PDF, like to extract the documents, the parts and everything. So I added a timeout of 5 seconds. So if there's any error, it's just going to throw it back to us. Then if it's a document, I'm using the docx to test. I added this in the dependency prospect.html file. So if it's not PDF, I'm using this one to extract the test as read as bytes, extract the test, and that's pretty much it. Then I return the test back. So anything we are passing to the AI is our prompts all in test format. Okay, so this is pretty much how I was able to fetch the documents, though for now I have not launched the web version, so I know this might have some errors with web, but yeah, so I've not really tested it. This is only focusing on Android and iOS for now. Okay, so in summary, this whole code lets users pick PDF or doc files, and we store an empty part since 5 parts aren't available. So basically, this is going to pick the files, extract the documents, extract all the string from the document, and then save it as a new section. Then whenever we click, we can start our conversation. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So now let's move on to our chat UI and section UI, how I was able to create the various parts. Okay, so we are going to build out the main screen. I'll collapse this and call. If you go to my chat, you're going to see I have my presentation, I have my views, I have my chat screen. So this chat screen is this view that you're seeing right here. So looking at this, yes, I'm using my analyzer like app launched, which is more like Firebase analytics. I created an analysis logger that I'm using to log all my documents. So like all the events. So I will not be talking much about this one, but this is all about, Firebase analytics to send events to Firebase. Here I have my upgrader alert. It's very important when you are pushing a new update, you need to show users that update, that upgrade alert, so that they will be able to update their application. So I set show ignore to false and show later to false because I want it to be a false upgrade. Then the upgrade duration until alert again is more like 2 days. So it will take 2 days before you alert again. You can reduce this to 1 day if you want users to always upgrade, or you can say 0 days to always be showing. So whichever way or whichever one that works for you. So looking at here, I have my app bar. You can see my app bar. I have the NotteChat AI. I have my test team dot body medium dot color and all that. The reason why I'm using body medium is if you go to my main.dat file, which is, I think I'm supposed to start from main.dat. Here I have my void main. Because I'm using Firebase Crashlytics, I needed to wrap my app with run zoom guard if it's not web. So if it's web, I'm just calling init app because Firebase Crashlytics is not available on web. So if it's web, I'm just calling init app. If it's not web, I'm wrapping my app with run zone guarded, to be able to catch errors when the app closes. Then here I have my init app. First, I initialize my Firebase platforms. It works for web and Android, so it won't cause any issues. Web and mobile. Then here I have my DB helper, and then I'm initializing the DB helper interface, which is more like the helper factory that I created. Then I'll call init, okay? Based on the platform, it's going to init it. So this one is for handling, uncaught errors. Then here, provider, of course, I have my multi-provider where I have my chat provider for handling everything chat. I have my settings provider for handling everything, dark mode, light mode. I have my pro provider for handling everything relating to, subscription and ads. Then, yeah, I have my team. I have my dark team. So I set that dark theme, and this one will handle light theme. You can see I set all the colors, various colors and all that for light theme, how it's going to look when it's on light mode. Also how it's going to look when it's on dark mode and all that. Yeah, so theme mode, if it's dark mode, we turn theme mode dot dark. If it's light mode, we turn theme mode dot light. And then we have our splash screen. From the splash screen, you can see this guy that I'm calling here, request tracking authorization. It's very important when you're building your app or when you're using ads and you're uploading your app to App Store, Play Store. You need to request tracking authorization. So it's very much important. If not, Google, Apple are going to reject your app. Yeah. So this one is advanced in-app review. Set minimum launch time to set minimum days after install to set minimum days after remind and all those stuff. That's it. And here I have my NotteChat logo where I'm just showing the logo. If you notice when you do a hot restart, you're going to see the logo. And this is the logo. And here we have navigate. After 2 seconds, it's going to take users to the chat lead screen, which is more like the first screen that they are going to see, this screen. So I've already talked about upgrade alerts and all that. So the next thing I want to talk about is, the various things that I did, which is the app bar is here, the elevated button. So this one is calling URL launcher to launch the URL whenever user clicks on about. When you click, it opens an external website. And then I'm also logging the event, view about to track how many users, viewed the about section. Then we have team toggle switch. This is the team toggle button to toggle light mode and dark mode. So let me just explain all this. Once I'm done, I'm going to come back to this team switch. Then here we have consumer. So provider that is pro subscribed. So if the user is subscribed, because I'm wrapping this button, this one, because the pro subscribe is for you to view analytics, you need to be a pro user. So what I did is wrap this with a pro consumer pro provider. If the user is, I'm going to explain all this section later. So if you are pro subscribed, it's going to navigate user to app analysis screen. Then else is going to show a paywall dialog, which is this dialog that you're seeing here, okay, for you to make payments. And I have added a tooltip. When you hold, you're going to see AI chat analysis. Then I have the body. So this body, when provided of sections is empty, what happens? It shows that initial screen that we saw before. Let me delete this. This is the initial screen that you're going to see. But if it's not empty, you're going to see the section data and everything dismissible for you to be able to dismiss when you swap. Then I added every other thing, provided a delete chart, and we have added a test. So if section.title ends with PDF, I'm going to return a different icon, else I'm going to return a library icon. So let me quickly put in, if you want to experiment how the document works, so I already have the updated version already. So download the app, go to get it on Google Play Store, download it on App Store, and test it out, see how it works and all that. Drop your review also on Play Store and App Store. Okay. So here I have the floating action button, which is to start a new chat. So starting a new chat, first checking. So the reason why I added this check here is because remember when I told you that I was using the latest version of 5pk and it was giving me issue. So that was why I added this check. So in case users mistakenly picked a document or that is not PDF or docs, I need to show only PDF and docs files are supported. After reducing the version and it was working, I was supposed to remove this, but it's still good to have it like this because you never can tell. Users might encounter that issues, so you need to handle that case as well. Okay, so this is just going to pick document and blah blah blah, and you do everything. So PDF files, if it's less than 2, and if you're not a pro user, it will prompt you to show dialog and then show paywall that multiple PDF charts are not supported. So see this. Let me try to pick. I think I only have one PDF in my file here. If I tried, all these ones are all in my iCloud. Oh, too bad. But I would have showed you how it works. So downloading the app as well, trying to upload more than 2 documents is going to show you this dialog, multiple PDF charts and all that. So I'm also loading and logging the events to Firebase. Okay, so that's it for the chat screen UI. This creates a simple UI with a list of sections. Okay, so when we tap the file button, it lets users pick a document and start a new section. Free users are limited to 2 documents. So it's going to prompt the subscription dialog. Okay, and all these things are all stored in SQLite for mobile and Hive for web. So the next thing we want to talk about now is the other screen, which is the chat conversation screen. So from the conversation screen, whenever we tap on each section, I'm passing the section ID, which is the index of the section. And from here, we have the section index. Okay. Then looking at it here, I added a screw controller because you notice when you open if you have many charts, I know this is not really going to give us anything tangible because this is an empty document. There's no main point. This is just empty document. So let's just say summarize. I just want to put like random text, random strings and all that. So looking at this now, it's scrollable, right? If we go back and come back in, you can see it's always starting from the beginning. That's because we are using scroll controller to actually handle that. Then we have the search controller. So when we search, if I come here, this ad, when I click to close the search, the ad shows. When I click to search, ads gets hidden. So let me say main point. So if I search main point, it's going to show, it's going to highlight the sections with that word that I'm trying to search. Okay, just like that. So it's going to highlight the sections for me. That's what the search is all about, for you to be able to search through your files, your conversations with the platform. Then we have show PDF viewer. I disabled this one for some reason, so I've not included it for now. So ignore it. And here I have scroll to bottom. This is happening whenever we just come to here for the first time. It scrolls the user automatically to the bottom. You will not notice it because it's very fast. So that's pretty much it. Make sure you dispose of your controller and every other thing. Then here we have the build method where I'm creating, though this is not really good. If I find a better approach, I'm going to, remove all these codes from the build method. But here we have to initialize the provider for chat provider. We have, before you can just wrap this consumer with this scaffold with consumer widget. That is also one of it. So here we have provided of a context and all this stuff. Then we have team switching for dark mode and light mode. Then we have section of messages. I am sorting the messages based on the date that they were created. Okay. Then scroll to bottom, invoke. You need to, if text to speech is already speaking, I needed to like close it and all that. So looking at this, I just created a lot of things. We have a title here for the app bar. If you notice, I'm not using colors directly. I'm using theme.body and all that. That's because of the dark mode and light mode, making it to blend across screens. Okay. Here we have the text section, format, date, and time. Here I added my extension to format date and time. I added my format time. Here, this one is for formatting strings and all that. Okay. Then moving on, you can see I commented a lot of things. This is to view summary. I commented, this one is to view the PDF documents. When you click, it's going to view the PDF. And I also commented downloads. So you'll be able to export your charts. All these ones will be available in later versions. Okay. Then we have the drop down. This drop down basically is for you to set your persona. So the purpose of this drop down is for you to be able to say you want to chat like a professor, you want to be able to chat, you want the AI to, respond to you casually as a techie or as a professor, or you want the default persona. So I just set it like that. So that's it. And we have the stack. This one, I don't think, yeah, I'm not using this one. So it's pretty much cool. You can comment it. It's not really doing anything here. So this is to preview the PDF to get summary. This one is for the search icon section. If I comment it now, search is going to go off. So that's pretty much it for search there. And then we have the expanded widgets. So you can see here, when you try to send a message, it's going to show a thinking bubble. Consider thinking bubble. I did it here. So sections.messages.length, if provider.is thinking is, greater than, if it's thinking, I'm going to return add it +1, else 0. Then provider.is thinking, if it's thinking and index is 0, so this is thinking, I always set it whenever I'm sending a message to the AI and the AI have not responded. So his thinking will be true. Once the AI have responded, the thinking is going to be false. So this is the thinking bubble widget that I just created. It can be anything that you want. You can modify this thinking bubble to anything you want. Okay, so that's the purpose of it. It's just going to show that thinking stuff. Then we have adjust message index. So this one is search query. If there is no matching query, it's just going to return nothing, just going to return, an empty string, empty view. Let's say I try to search Destiny that is not in this list. You can see it's just going to return empty. Then if everything is good, it's going to return the message bubble, context, message, team, search query. And this is the chat input. So the reason why everything is structured like this, I wrapped them in a stack widget and use expanded for this middle one and move the chat input. When you click on the chat input and keyboard shows, it pops up. All right. So this preface, I wanted to add preface to this, if you notice, but I removed it for some reason. It's supposed to show like this for you to easily say main idea, define, explain, and all those stuff, like a quick help button. But I disable it for this very version. So here we have the bubble message. What does it do? It just shows the message, right? So because this chat model has its user, its audio, and all that to check. So if his user is going to return primary color, you can see the color is different from this one. Then if it's not user, I'm going to check if it's dark mode or light mode and then show the corresponding colors. Then if it's audio, let me say I remove this now. this check, you're going to see how audio is supposed to show, right? This is how audio is supposed to show, assuming I used audio for the conversation. So test that out using the live app. So I have build highlighted text and message that is user. This one is helping us to, for the volume. If it's not user, if it's a AI response, then you can speak out. Okay. Then we have for message that is user. I think this should message that is user. We need to format the time. So we're only showing time for users own message. So this highlighted text, if you notice this highlights that we are doing here, is more like an amazing one. I think I'll make a separate tutorial about this later. So this one is just, highlighting text in our documents, like in our message. We cannot do this with normal text widget or selectable text widget. So I'm using test spam for this with a list, which text and everything to map it. This was a lot. So I'm going to create a video tutorial later around about this one. But don't worry, the source code will be available so you guys can explore it and see how it works. So guys, that's pretty much it. Let me quickly run through the provider for settings. So this is just it. For toggling the switch, I have my is dark mode, load theme. So we're going to load the theme. Then we have the toggle theme. So this load theme is whenever you are calling this settings provider, this will be called automatically. So it's going to load the theme, dark mode and light mode. So I'm using shared preference to just store the state. So when you do a hot restart, close the app and open it, you are still going to see the previous save state. So toggle theme is just to switch between light mode and dark mode. Okay, there is no view, there's just provider there. Yeah, so there's no data as well. So that's it for settings. And then there's one thing I want to talk about. I think we are done with the chat section, and so is the analytics, which is this one. So for the analysis, when you click on it, you're going to see app wide view. I also added section-based analysis. So this section-based analysis will be based on a particular section, but I've not implemented that one yet. But I have the app-wide analysis where you can, view all the analysis. And for this is a lot. I did a lot of things here. Aggregate app-wide data. I'm able to filter out the data, get the total messages, user messages, all messages, AI messages, audio messages, session counts, total chat duration, word frequency, messages per day. So I was able to break all those things down. And also I have my build chart section where you can build the also have build start section. I think I have a widget here to handle all this stuff. Messages per day. This was a lot. Okay, there was a lot of calculation going on here. We have a chat widget. This one I use my FL chart. Today's section is not about FL chart, because FL chart is another topic on its own. Talking about chart, rendering chart and all that is another topic on its own. Then I have the start widget and all that. So here we have, I'm going to come back. I know for now we cannot view all this stuff because the UI is blocked, but you can watch an ad to be able to view those sections. But I don't want to watch an ad. This is a debug mode. So now let's talk about the subscription system. To make NotteChat Premium, we added a simple subscription check. For web, I'm planning to use Stripe because in-app purchase doesn't work for mobile. So, but for this tutorial, we are going to try to update the local flag. So what I'm going to do, let's go to our subscription section. Here I have charts, subscription, I have presentation. I think I have my paywall screen. I'm going to show you guys this one later. So let's leave it for now. I have my dialogue. This dialogue is more like this paywall dialogue. Looking at it, it has unlock feature. So I did a lot of things in this enums. So we can unlock audio chat, PDF, chat section for one-time use whenever users watch an ad. Okay. So when you watch an ad, you can unlock that section temporarily for that particular time. Once you are done viewing it and you exit, it's locked. Okay, that's the purpose of the ad check. So what we're doing here, first I use the rewarded ad, is ad loading, load ad. Here I just, I added everything in one file. I did not separate it in a different file. Okay, because I was trying to launch fast, and all those kind of things. Then I have my rewarded iOS ID and all that. Okay. Then I have, if it's Android, I have this one. If it's iOS, I have this one. So you can see here, watch ad. So if I watch it now, I'll be able to unlock that analysis. So we have show rewarded ad. This is just going to show rewarded ad. Can watch, provider that can watch. This can watch basically is checking if, because there's a limit for how many ads you can watch in a day. You can only watch 3 ads in a day. And once you're done watching the ads, you're not going to be able to watch another ad until 24 hours. So after that 24 hours, you can come back, watch ad to view the features and use your app, or you can just upgrade to Pro and just enjoy it for 1 month. Just, simple amount like $2 per month. So yeah, so you pretty much enjoy it. So there's a lot of things. Unlock feature. This is called when you earn reward. I'm just going to unlock a particular feature, which I'm going to be explaining later. We have the build. This one, we have the alert dialog, unlock, upgrade to Pro, unlock, blah blah blah. We have the can watch, ad loading, and all that. Then if ad loading, we show loading ad. Can watch ad, we do ad watch. Then ad limit reach, daily ad count. I think this shouldn't be daily ad count. Okay, yeah, this is daily ad count. I think this is not updating real time, which is not good. But that's pretty much it. And limit reset at midnight. So you are going to wait for 24 hours for it to be reset, and then you can continue watching your ad. Pretty cool, right? So this is not a full tutorial, so don't expect me to write code. And just like a walkthrough of how I was able to build this app and everything I did, encountered, and all that. So now let's look at the subscription. The subscription is a lot, but not really a lot. It might look a lot. It might look a lot if you are just seeing it for the first time, but it's not really a lot. So we have is pro subscribed. Initially, this is false. Okay. So what happens? I initialize my in-app purchase. So make sure you have already set up your in-app purchase in your App Store and Play Store. I used this NotteChat Pro monthly as my key subscription, and then I set the amount. I already have a video where I talked about in-app purchase, subscription, and all that. Still a walkthrough, so I'm going to put the link so you guys can check it out. That video is complete. So yeah, we have, and before, make sure if you are using in-app purchase, I just want to give you guys this tip now. I know I did not cover it in my previous video where I talked about subscription. If you're using subscription for Apple or Play Store like Google, make sure for Apple, make sure you have already set up your business account. Make sure you have added your payment account that users will be able to, like, Apple will be able to send you payments. Make sure you have configured all those stuffs. If not, your subscription is not going to work. You're going to try a lot of things and you'll be confused why it's not working. So make sure you go there and set up your, when you go to your Apple Connect website, you're going to go to businesses. From there, you're going to set up all the stuffs. And your app also needs to be published to test flight for you to be able to test it. And if you're using in-app purchase for the first time, that version of app that has the in-app purchase must be approved by Apple. Okay, that's one thing for it to be able to work very well. Okay, so moving on, I have is offline. I did not work on this because the purpose of this is, to allow users to be able to use the app offline and also add a offline kind of AI that you can use even though you don't have internet. You'll be able to use, send message, interact with your PDF offline. I'm going to implement that in a later version. So this one is a variable to unlock features. This one is to track ads watch daily, date of last ad watch, max ads per day. So you can increment this to say 4, 5, or whatsoever you want. Then this is the product details for your in-app purchase subscription. And we have a lot. This is just like the getters. These are the initial variables, and these are the getters. Then whenever we initialize provider, like the pro provider, I'm initializing the subscription, loading offline mode, load ad count as well for ad tracking. So in each subscription, what is happening here? Just call initialization, initialize in-app purchase and all that, then restore purchases. I'm using unawaited because this is the future, so I don't want to wait for the response. Okay, so not all features need to be awaited. Okay, so we can use unawaited to make it optional. Yeah, moving on, we have the check subscription status. We are going to check subscription status if it's subscribed, because whenever you subscribe, we are saving the pro subscribe to the DB. So what I'm going to do here, let me just, for testing sake, I want us to be able to test other features that I was not able to explain. I'm going to set this to true. Okay, let me just do a hot restart on this. I'm going to come back to that. So we have purchase pro subscription. So what is happening here is for web, I'm going to handle web purchase, which is with, I already added some check here, like a to do, because I'm going to come back to it to handle it with, view checkout with Stripe or another payment gateway. So that works seamlessly on web and Flutter. So here I'm just going to, query and all those stuff, buy non-consumable. This is just in-app purchase stuff. So restore purchases, we are just going to call restore purchases, and the response is going to be received from handle purchases. So if the status is purchased or is restored, we are going to set is pro subscribe to true. I know an effective way to handle things like this is to use a database, but I avoided database in this platform. So even though we use, you subscribe for the first time, okay, and then you close your app, delete the app, you come back again, right? I'm always checking for this callback, right? If you are subscribed or not. So if you're not subscribed, you can see if it's canceled, that means you canceled your subscription. I'm going to set it to false. That means you will need to upgrade again. Then export chat. I did not really talk much about this. This is another feature that I'm looking at implementing. Then toggle offline mode, another feature too that I'm looking at implementing. Then we have load offline mode, still another feature. Then unlock feature. Once you just do unlock, we are incrementing ad count by 1. Clear unlock feature. Immediately you have finished watching the ad, we unlock feature for you. And once you exit that screen, we are going to clear the unlock features. That's what I'm doing here. So this one is just a basic overview of the analysis screen. We have the AI, 4 charts from AI, audio 0, hour 0, 3. You have sent 3 messages, sections 1, total messages 7. So let's count that. Sections 1, total messages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have sent 1, 2, 3 messages, 1, 2, 3, 4 from AI. You can see that everything is correct. So this one is to load ad counts from shared preference here. Just a straightforward one. We have increment ad count. Whenever you have watched an ad, we are incrementing the count by 1. Okay, and also saving the daily ad count. So we set ad count. So we are also going to reset ad count if the count is, if last ad day is 0 or is same day. If it's not same day, we are going to reset ad count automatically for you. So this is the check to check for is same day. So guys, this is pretty much it. Straightforward stuff. Very straightforward. So I've removed the check to check if the user is a pro user or not. So in that case, we'll be able to click on this speech recognition not available. So it's best we test this on a V device. So go ahead, download the app, try it out on a V device. Please drop your review and tell me what you think about this app. And if possible, help me to share it with your friends and whoever you think is going to love this idea. Okay. So the last part that I did not talk about is, let me quickly go back to, let me revert this. Let me revert everything that I did. So I'm going to do a hot restart. And now from here, let me talk about the pay pro warning dialog. Okay, I've already talked about that. Let me talk about the paywall screen. So when we click, it shows this dialog. We can now click on upgrade now. So let me show you how ad works. So for the ads, once it shows, okay, let's go back and see somewhere here now. When I click, it's going to show this audio chat, right? So let me click on watch ad, see what happens.
This is a rewarded video test ad. Here comes the reward callback.
So now reward granted, I can close. You can see it's showing feature unlocked for one-time use. So right now I'll be able to click on this to test out the audio chat, but I know it's not going to work because we are in a simulator. So it's going to show error the first time. Speech recognition not available. But if you're using read device, you'll be able to use it. But if we tap on it again, okay, for now we have not used it. So it's going to be set to the default value once we have used it. If we have used it to send one message, if you tap on it again, it's going to show the pop-up, the paywall screen. Then let's talk about this upgrade now. Here is just telling us about the features that are available and all that. So here we have app wide feature, unlock pro feature, unlimited app wide analysis, analytics, unlimited PDF, unlimited conversation, offline mode, voice chat, no ads. So you can now go pro. So yeah, you can go pro and subscribe $2 per month. You will use all the features and see how it works. Okay. Oh yes, I think I missed one part. Yes, the provider for chats. Yeah, I did not talk about the chat provider and all those stuffs. Oh, my bad. So I'm supposed to talk about, when we are sending messages, what is happening. So looking at this, let's go to the view chat screen. Whenever we select the PDF, what happens if everything is okay and the user is a pro user or not, it's not double PDF, what happens? We are sending create chat from document, then we send the PDF chat. So see what is happening here. It's extracting, I'm setting it to true and other stuff, more like if you want to show a loader. So whenever users have created a new chat, you can see extract test. This extract test, I'm going to check if it's a PDF or not. I've already talked about this. Then if PDF is not empty, I'm going to add the PDF test to test and all that. Then if the PDF test is not empty, I'm creating a new chat section, which is this section. So if the document is greater than 1, I'm going to say multiple document chats. Test at the app to see how it works. Just like this, it's going to show like this. Then we have messages, document loaded successfully, which is this first message that you will always see here. When then its user is going to be false because I'm going to take it as an AI response. Then this is the share ID, how I'm generating it. Then based on the section, because I created the section first before creating the messages. So based on this chat section, I'm going to get the section ID, insert section. Once I insert it, I'm going to get the section ID and then create the new section, chat section. Then I will now add the messages, section.messages, which is this. I'm not going to add it so that users will be able to have conversation on this chat section. Then I will now insert the message, like creating a new message. That's the where I now create this one here, documents loaded successfully, which is this, the message. If there's any error, I'm going to handle it. Then if for some reason if there's any error adding it, it's going to throw error. And then catch, I'm going to also send error loading document. It's going to show the error to the user here. You can see that if there's any error, it's also going to send that sign AI message. So just know that that message, that document you're trying to load did not load successfully. There was an error. So yeah, then also create the same thing and all that, insert message and do a lot of things. Then for sending a message, it's just straightforward. I have the thinking through. First thing I did was, get the sections, the section ID. I'll get the particular section that I want to edit, which is that first one, based on the section index. Then I'll send chat message. Is audio. If it's audio, if I send it through here, I'm going to send is audio to true. So if it's an AI message or if it's not audio, a normal message is going to be true, false by default. So here I just added the section message to the chat, insert message to get message ID and all that. It's thinking, I'll set it to true. So this is thinking, I only set it to true when I want to make request to the AI. So I have get AI response. So I have a method here to get AI response and chat message, blah, blah, blah. Once the AI response has been received, I will now send the message here. So this get AI response is more like a normal message here. It's offline. No, I'm supposed to handle offline mode here, but I've not implemented it yet. And you can see I'm passing the personnel, the PDF test, the query and all that. So final prompt, This is the prompt. Personal, I pass the personal. Then the context is the PDF test. Then the query is what the user is sending. Then the respond in the style of the specified context. That's the prompt that I'm sending to Gemini. Then I have my final response, await model.generate content, AI.content. I pass in the prompt, and then I check if response is null, return a string. If it's not null, I return the AI response. This one is for the speech. Just send the test, and AI is going to speak it out for you. That's just simple, okay? Then for the generate content, I have my model.generate content. So this model, I initialize the Gemini here with my API key, okay? I have my Flutter text to speech. I have my personal and all that. I have my defaults. I think I've already talked about this previously. I have the load sections and all these stuff then, yeah. So that's pretty much it for. Then if you notice when you're using the app, you'll be observing some minor vibration. So I use haptic feedback dot heavy impact to give it that vibration feel for better UX. So whenever you send a message, it vibrates. Whenever you start audio and audio is sent, it vibrates. So it just gives you that, nice UX. So when the response has been gotten from the AI, I'm setting its thinking to false. That's why when I send, let's say hello, for instance, it's thinking, you just send hello back because there's nothing, there's not a question. And yeah. So heavy impact, get summary and all that. Summary, and So we just have delete charts, set personnel is like a setter, a getter, and all that. So guys, that's pretty much it for this app. It did not really do much. So I think we have a README that just explains what the project is about. And yeah, so just have a README there. So guys, thank you so much for being part of this. And if you watched to the end, type MVP or in the comment section below, and also type or send me anything you want me to work on in the future. So guys, feel free to try out the app, try out the mobile app on Android, and also try it out on Play Store. Try the demo, share it with people you think that are going to need the app or find it useful. You can also shoot an email to me if you have any feature request or anything as well. So yeah, thank you so much guys for watching and being part of this, okay? And also another thing I did not talk about, if you want to get your Google or Gemini API that you can use, I think I used that somewhere around here. Where I have my, use it somewhere around here. This is the model that I'm using. We have the API key, Gemini key, okay? So you also want to go to their website to be able to get a new, if you click on get API key, you'll be able to get a new API key. So accept the terms, get API key from here to be able to get your API key that you want to use, okay? So that's pretty much it. So you can just go ahead and create API key to get started with this.